Greetings from Ann Arbor, Michigan. I'm Fernando Florking. I'm the Special Advisor for Government Relations and Education at Michigan Language Assessment. I'm joined by my colleague, Emily.
Hi everyone, my name's Emily Clifford. I'm the Academic Services Manager here at Michigan Language Assessment. And today, Fernando and I are going to be telling you all about the examination for the Certificate of Proficiency in English, otherwise known as ECPE.
So we'll go over general information about the exam, key features, and go over each of the sections of the test so that you can be better prepared to take the test. So let's get started with some key features of the examination for the Certificate of Proficiency in English, or ECPE. ECPE is a 4-skill English language test. You will be evaluated on your reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills. Our assessment, operations teams, and all the teams at Michigan Language Assessment work on the development of the different forms, the administration, and we work in close collaboration with our network of authorized test centers around the world. ECPE is used for academic settings, personal achievement, professional growth, so there are lots of opportunities to use the exam to demonstrate your English proficiency and reach your career or personal goals. In terms of administration, ECPE is administered in person at authorized test centers only. It's administered twice a year, and there's a special date for the exam for the written test, and then you have to schedule a separate appointment for your speaking test. Certificates are awarded to those test takers that get an overall score of 650 or higher. So those are scaled scores. Once all the results for the different sections are scored and evaluated, and those who get a 650 or higher will get a certificate of English proficiency. So let's go over the different sections of the test. As it is a 4-skill test, you will have 4 sections of the test covering each of those 4 skills. The test begins with the writing section. You have 2 options to complete one task in 45 minutes, and we'll see a couple of examples in a minute. Then you continue with the listening section of the test, which has 3 parts. Those are different types of, you're exposed to different kinds of listening passages. The first one is short conversations between 2 speakers, short talks, and then a discussion, a longer discussion. Overall, you will have 50 questions which will take about 50 minutes for the listening section. You don't have to worry about the timing in that section because the timing advances automatically when you're there playing the test. In the reading section, you have 4 parts: grammar, a cloze test, vocabulary, and reading passages. So it has 4 specific sections within the reading section of a test. Overall, you have 70 questions or items to answer, and it will take 55 minutes. And on a separate appointment, you will complete your speaking test, which consists of 5 stages. It takes about 30 minutes, and you're going to be working with somebody else on that particular test. Overall, the test will take about 3 hours. So let's begin with the first section of the test, ECPE writing. You will be given 2 options to complete the test, but you have to choose only one for this writing task. You can either get an article or a proposal, and you get an essay. So you answer task 1 or task 2. You don't have any word limit in particular for this particular task. You have to make sure that you're elaborating on multiple points of view, supporting by sufficient reasons, examples, evidence. Remember, you're demonstrating your English proficiency at a very advanced level, so you have to show that you have good command of structures, vocabulary, of the organization of the content, the way you develop those ideas, in order to demonstrate that level of English proficiency. There is some information, there are sources that are provided that you're expected to include at least one of those in your response to supporting your opinion, explaining and using that as evidence of what the points, the arguments that you're trying to make. So here's the rubrics that you can look at, the scoring rubric, the rating scale that is used in order to evaluate your writing. There are 4 areas that we pay attention to when evaluating the writing section. One is task completion. Did you answer the question fully? Did you provide information that addresses the topics that are mentioned in the prompt? Is it relevant? Are you talking about what we're asking in particular in the prompt? Does it fulfill all the task requirements? Everything that is mentioned there, and we'll see the examples in a minute. And does it have at least one source from the ones that are provided? Then we'll evaluate the development, how fully your ideas are being developed, how much evidence you're proposing, examples, the details, how much support does your essay or your article or proposal include, how well it is organized and developed. Obviously, your language, your vocabulary and grammar will be evaluated. And then authorial voice is how original the content is. Does it engage the reader? Does it show that you're addressing a topic for that particular audience that you're writing to, and you're trying to engage them and make them enjoy what you're writing? So these are the four main categories that are used to evaluate the writing performance. So this is one example of a writing prompt. You see those three boxes. The top, those are the three sources that are provided for this particular prompt, and you have two tasks to choose from. In this case, you can choose from an article or an essay. In all those cases, you have a situation that is provided at the beginning. You say that there are different points of view that are pointed out. The first one in the article, the local high school is planning to eliminate computer skills course graduation requirement. And then you see that this next sentence says many students are concerned about this idea. So there are different points of view in the essay as well. It starts with the situation. Some people believe that the government should ban students under the age of 18 from working jobs so that they can focus on their education. Then there is a question that you have to answer. What positive and negative effects might this have on students? So depending on the choice you make, either the article or the essay, make sure that you're addressing the requirements from each of those to the choice that you made. In both cases, it says that you have to include at least one piece of information given above to support your response. And those are the three sources of information that are provided. So use the ones that are relevant to what the points that you're trying to explain, so that it's directly supporting the flow of thought that you have in your essay.
Thank you, Fernando. So let's talk about ECPE listening. In the listening section, there are three parts that Fernando already explained a little bit about. There are 50 questions in total, and the ECPE listening section lasts for around 50 minutes. In part one, you will hear 20 short conversations, and each conversation is followed by one multiple choice question. You will hear each conversation once, and then you have to answer the question that you're being asked about that conversation. In part two, you will hear short talks by a single speaker, so one person talking about a topic. And each of these talks will be followed by multiple choice questions. Again, each of these talks will be played once, and there are 18 questions to answer in part two. The final section of ECPE listening involves listening to discussions with multiple speakers. Each of these discussions will be followed by 6 multiple choice questions to answer. So you will hear 2 of these discussions and answer 12 questions in total. The listening section is scored automatically by computer because there is only one correct answer for each question. So let's take a quick look at some example questions. This is part 1. So in the exam booklet, you can see a screenshot here. You will have some instructions that tell you exactly what you're supposed to do. And the instructions tell you should mark A, B, C, or D in your answer booklet, not in the test booklet. And then you will see all of the questions on the page there, and you will hear each of the conversations. So you can see question 1 here is asking for a specific detail. You need to listen out for the ingredient that the woman needs for her recipe, or for whatever it is that she's completing in that conversation. And then question 2 here, how does the woman feel? So you're being asked to interpret and infer meaning. In part 2, again, you will see the instructions at the top of the page. It outlines exactly what's going to happen. So you'll hear 3 short talks and then hear 6 questions about the talks that you heard. And again, your options will be A, B, C, or D. So there are 4 answer options for each question. This is what it looks like in the exam booklet. So you've got the questions there. On the left, there's a sentence that gives you some context, so you can sort of start thinking about what you might hear. In this example, you're listening to a speaker at a literary event, and then you've got all of the questions there listed on the page, and there's a space on the right for you to take notes. So while you're listening, it's a good idea to write down some notes about what you heard, which will help you answer the questions. And remember, you're not answering the questions in the test booklet, you're answering them on the answer sheet itself. Lastly, part 3. So in this part, you will hear 2 discussions with multiple speakers, and after each, you will hear 6 questions. You do have some time to look at the questions before you listen, and it's very, very, very good idea to do so. So you have an idea of what you need to listen out for. And you'll have questions that ask about the main idea. You'll have questions that ask you to listen out for specific details. And you'll have some questions that ask you to infer meaning, something that is not directly or explicitly stated in what you hear. So again, this is what it looks like. You've got an instruction there, look at the questions and listen to the first segment. So then you have some time to read through those questions, look at the answer options, and think about what you're expecting to listen for, try to make some predictions maybe. And you've got space on the right to take notes again. And that's it for listening. And following your listening section, you will then start looking at the ECPE reading section. Now again, ECPE reading, just like listening, is all multiple choice. You have 4 parts to complete an ECPE reading and a total of 70 questions. And you have 55 minutes to complete the whole reading section. So, first section, grammar. In the grammar section, you will see 16 questions. Each question will be a sentence that has a word or phrase missing, and you choose the answer from a choice of 4 words or phrases to best complete that sentence in a grammatically accurate way. Then you have the close section, where you will have 2 informational passages, and within that paragraph or paragraphs, you will have 10 gaps where words or phrases have been deleted. Each of those deletions has a choice of 4 words or phrases to choose from to complete the text. And these will test your understanding of grammar, and also you're completing it for meaning as well. So there are 20 questions in total, 10 about each of the passages. Then you have the vocabulary section. And similarly to grammar, you will have 16 incomplete sentences that you need to choose the correct answer to complete the sentence. And finally, part 4 of ECPE reading is reading passages. So in this part, you will have 3 reading passages about informational topics, and each passage will be followed by 6 questions that test your understanding of what you read. And that's it for the reading section, other than to tell you that it is also scored automatically by computer. As you can see, all of the questions are again multiple choice, and there is only one correct answer for each, so the reading section is scored automatically. Here's an example of the grammar section. You've got 2 examples there. You can see it's a sentence with a gap, and then you've got some phrases that you need to pick the most accurate one to complete each sentence. Here's a example, I suppose, of the closed section. So you've got a passage. This one has been cut off. That's not the full passage. Remember, there's 10 questions for each one, but you can see how it's presented in the booklet. You've got the passage with the numbers in the blank, and then you've got the corresponding questions there on the right with the answer options. Some example vocabulary questions here. So again, sentences where you choose the correct word or phrase to complete the sentence accurately. And finally, here's an example of a reading passage. So you can see the sort of length of the passages and some example questions. Much like with listening, these questions will test your understanding of main ideas. So what is this passage about, or what is the author's purpose in writing this? You might have questions that test your ability to understand specific information, where you'll need to scan the text to find specific details. And you'll also be asked questions that ask you to infer meaning that is not directly or explicitly stated in the text, such as asking what the author is suggesting or the effect of a word on the reader.
Great. Thank you, Emily. And a couple of tips about the multiple choice sections, the listening and reading sections of the test. If you make a mistake choosing the wrong item, you won't get penalized for that. So don't worry about, don't leave any of those multiple choice items, any of those questions unanswered. Make sure that you answer all of them. You won't be punished for choosing the wrong one, but if you have some doubts about how to fill in, how to answer one of those questions, make the best guess that you have possible test taking strategy, and make sure that you answer all of those questions. And let's continue with the speaking section of the test. You will be scheduling this as a separate appointment with your authorized test center in your area. So you will be coming on a special occasion for the specific speaking test of the ECPE. This is conducted in person. You will be interacting with another peer, another classmate, another person taking the test. It might be either in pairs or it might be a group of 3 taking the test together with 2 examiners. There are 5 stages that you will go through this structured interview and this interaction that will be taking place between the 2 of you or the 3 of you. You will be asking and answering questions. You will be explaining and paraphrasing written descriptions. You will provide recommendations. You will negotiate a decision, and then you will justify it and defend a position or a decision that you made together. So this will be evaluated by the certified speaking examiners that will be evaluating what you did. This is the general context that is provided for you for both test takers or the 3 of you. For one, as an example of one particular speaking test, you are students in a high school class that's going on a 3-day trip in the spring. You're in the selection committee to decide the location. 4 locations, if you're taking this speaking test as a pair, as 2 people together, you will get 4 locations that have made it to the final selection process, and each of you will get information descriptions of 2 of those 4 locations. You will need to describe those locations to the other members of the committee, so your partner that is taking the test with you, so that both of you will know all the information about the 4 possible locations. And examiner 2 is the school principal that you will have to convince about your decision. So this is the information that one of you will be getting, information about New York and Aspen, Colorado for a class trip. And this is the information that the other person will get, information on Orlando, Florida, and Washington, D.C. So only each of you will have information about 2 of these locations, and you will share that information, describe, paraphrase, explain the information that you have, so both of you will know about the 4 places. And then you will have to make a decision about what to do. You can scan the QR code here to look at the speaking rating scale. You can look at it there, but it's very tiny. It's on our website, so you can easily access it directly. But these are the 3 categories that will be evaluated when we're looking at your performance, your oral performance. Discourse and interaction, how well you're interacting with the other test taker and examiners, and how you connect ideas, how you can communicate your thoughts. The linguistic resources, that refers to the grammar, the vocabulary, how accurate your grammar and vocabulary are. The range of vocabulary, if you used mainly general words that are very well known, or you use very specific particular words that describe kind of advanced words that describe very specific areas in relation to your the task that you're talking about. And then your delivery and intelligibility, how fluently you speak, if you make lots of pauses, hesitations, your intonation, your rhythm, how you communicate in general. So these are the 3 main areas that how you will be evaluated during the speaking test, and all the scores from the different sections of a test, writing, listening, reading, and speaking, will be compiled together for your final score. Emily will share a lot of resources for preparation now.
Thank you, Fernando. So let's talk about how you can prepare for your ECPE examination. We do have a really great comprehensive preparation resource library on our website. The QR code is there for you to scan. You can also go to michiganassessment.org, test preparation, and search for ECPE resources. Just an example of some of the things that we have there. We've got an example speaking test. We've got practice packs on the different skills. We've got sample tests that you can download with the audio, and we've got an ECPE preparation guide for your teachers, or for teachers if you're watching as well. That guide was written for teachers. It has more example questions. It has advice and tips on how to prepare for success on ECPE. Do recommend following us on social media and YouTube, and also signing up to our monthly newsletter. You can see that on the website how to do so, and that will ensure that every month you'll get the most up-to-date resources and information and news from Michigan Language Assessment to help you in your preparation. Just some examples for you to see. We've got the reading resource pack, a listening resource pack complete with example activities and advice, and different reading or listening strategies that you can use as you prepare and in your exam itself. And for writing preparation, we've got 2 complete resource packs which have example responses, examiner comments, suggestions for how responses could be improved, and some prompts for you to practice yourself as well. It's always a great idea when you're practicing for writing to just get writing, write as many practice essays or articles or proposals as you can, and seek feedback, and also use that use the rating scale, the writing rating scale, to review your own work and see what you think you could do to improve, to really make sure that you're feeling confident when you go into your test day. For speaking preparation, again, we have some examples. We have some commentary, and you can watch the examples on YouTube. You can use these cards to practice yourself. Find a partner, someone else that speaks English, maybe someone else preparing for ECPE, and just practice. Follow the instructions and go through some practice speaking tests. And for teachers, here's the preparation guide I mentioned, and we've got several sample tests with more coming soon that you can download with audio and practice writing prompts, practice speaking exams, to help you prepare your students for success. These are some of the example videos we have on our YouTube channel. You can see we've got some webinars for teachers, webinars for test takers. We've got videos about writing, videos about reading and listening, and we've got that example video of a speaking test as well. So you can watch that, have a go at rating it yourself with the speaking rating scale, and then discuss with other people, see what they think, how could they have improved, maybe have a go at doing it yourself. And that's it from Fernando and myself. Thank you very much for joining us today. Really appreciate your time. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, please do reach out to us. Our web address is there on the screen, michiganassessment.org. And you can also email us at info@michiganassessment.org. So thank you very much. Goodbye.